Hello, welcome back to Dinner and a Show. I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner, and I'm going to read this to you, Brian, and just tell me if you want to see this movie.
Okay.
This is the classified ad. It reads, "Wanted, someone to go back in time with me. This is not a joke. You'll get paid after we get back. Must bring your own weapons. I have only done this once before. Safety not guaranteed." Now tell me you wouldn't want to see this movie.
I would want to see this movie. This sounds like an apocalyptic movie, and they're trying to go back in time to save the world.
Well, that's not quite what we get. What we get is an indie romantic comedy drama. Safety not guaranteed.
Which is, I think Colin Trevorrow's directorial debut.
Yeah, it was
before Jurassic World.
Yeah, it was also written by Derek Connolly, who also worked with Colin on Jurassic World, and they're both working on the Star Wars Episode 9.
9.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so every director's dream right here.
Yeah, definitely. And for dinner, we have returned to Dunkin' Donuts and some wonderful Kroger Real Sugar Soda. I have cola time, and you once again have your physicist.
I'll take a wild guess.
That's awesome.
And it's chocolate frosted donuts, just like always.
Always. Not a sponsor, but they are excellent.
So basically the film is about these three magazine reporters who find this really bizarre ad about like someone wanting to travel back in time with them. And they find out where the guy lives, they find out where he works, and they're trying to get this investigative article written about him. And one of the interns, played by Aubrey Plaza, who's playing the typical Aubrey Plaza role.
Gosh, she's so depressing.
Yeah, she is. She meets the guy who placed the ad in the paper, named Kenneth, played by Mark Duplass, and gets to know him a little bit more, and they form a sort of a partnership, and she's going along with the ruse that she wants to travel back in time with him, and he seems really serious about doing this, and she doesn't exactly know what this guy's deal is, but she's sort of falling for him a little bit, and so she's hoping that he's not crazy.
Definitely.
Oh, and there's a subplot involving Jake Johnson and feeling pain and reconnecting with an old girlfriend. Look, I like Jake Johnson. I like him in Jurassic World. Like even in the few episodes of New Girl I've seen, I like him, and it's just that I don't find him particularly interesting here, or even kind of funny here. I think he's
likable.
I don't like him. He's a jackass. That's what he is, and
he's very manipulative towards the other intern.
And you also have the other intern, Arnaud, played by Karen Sony, who you might recognize as the cab driver in Deadpool. He's just there for comedic purposes. He's the comic relief.
Yeah,
and,
he's basically the cab driver in this movie.
I like this movie. I think it could have been a lot better if it just stayed focused on Darius and Kenneth.
Yeah, I think so. I think we needed a subplot just to see what they were doing to give us a break from Darius and...
I'm not sure I wanted the break, actually. But I guess if you cut it out, then the film would only be like 50-something minutes long. It's already pretty short. It's like 80, 85, 86 minutes long.
Darius and Kenneth, yeah, they had, it was really fun just seeing their adventures and stuff. But I think we from a narrative perspective, we needed to take a break, switch to something else so that we wouldn't be, overstay our welcome with them. And so we needed her other reporter friends or coworkers to do something. I think I'm going to
disagree with you there, just slightly, because I don't know. I just like these two so much.
Yeah, I mean, do I like Jake Johnson and his character? No, he's a jerk. But
he's kind of a douche.
Yeah, but I did. I was still interested to see. It's like, okay, is he actually going to be successful in reconnecting with his old flame? And he does have some sort of story arc. He thinks he can still, be a player back from high school, and he can't.
And it's already established, when he goes to meet Kenneth for himself, that Kenneth sees right through him. He doesn't know pain, and the reason that Kenneth wants to go back in time is to make up for something that he did wrong, back in the day. Things don't work out too well with the old flames.
With Liz, I think.
Yeah, Liz. Yeah.
So it was. That was definitely interesting. I liked that. I'm just gonna call him the cab driver from Deadpool. Kind of felt sorry for him because he kept being manipulated by Jake Johnson.
Jeff! That's it. His name's
Jeff.
Jeff. That's right. Okay.
Okay, Jeff. But
I had to know. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff kept manipulating him. It's like, dude, you are going to get laid, and like he's doing it in a way that makes him uncomfortable.
That's a big thing about these indie road trip movies where they're like you leave home for a while and you go to some place, you expect your life to be changed forever. That's pretty much what Jeff wants for Arno. He's just like, dude, the time is now, man. You gotta do this. It's now or never. I mean, this is gonna be like the best weekend ever, man. You gotta do this.
And it's like
that's pretty much.
And
what
it's
it
like
is. I've
Jeff
seen
was
this
trying.
before.
Yeah, but I think for this time it looks like that Jeff was trying to force his, I guess, not dreams, but you know what he considers successful onto Arno.
Yeah, Arno's very shy, and Jeff is trying to get him to like break out of his shell.
All right, now I was not expecting Darius and Kenneth to
why not
hit it off like that.
Why not?
And I'll tell you why. One, it just didn't look like that they were going to have like that kind of chemistry. It looked like that they were just going to have a mentor, you know, like a I'm going to teach you the ways of the wild sort of relationship.
Oh,
and
so naive.
Yeah, I know. It shocked me. But it just didn't look like he was into, you know, being romantic. He wanted to go back in time. Kind of like how Doc Brown was for his time machine, you know? Not true. Doc Brown hooks up with somebody at part 3.
There you go.
In part 3, he finds love. But he was just so passionate about his work that he just put that on the side. I thought that's what Kenneth was doing. And then we, realized, something happened that from a...
We don't even know what his deal is. We get a good sense of it, like, at the end, but, like, up until then, he's kind of a mystery. Not really sure, like, what his deal is.
Yeah, but it had some romantic ties to it. Back in the time period that he wants to go back to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just thought he was focused on those romantic ties and making his time machine work in order to, and didn't, really think of Darius as a love interest. So that's why I was completely surprised.
Okay. Is there time travel in this movie? That is not for us to say, because really that's not what the film is about. The film is about outsiders finding each other, finding ways to connect, finding ways to relate, and just finding ways to like get through pain through each other.
But they do talk about time travel.
Well, yeah, but that's not what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Through the time travel conversation, they're getting to know each other, and they're learning to trust each other. You get to know more about these two as outsiders, like people who feel uncomfortable in their own skin. That's what the movie's about, them finding each other.
And time travel.
Oh, shut up. And you and your Star Wars and your Star Trek, you expect everything to be so simple when you hear the words time travel in every single movie.
Dude, time travel is so complex. The space-time continuum is in the balance. Time paradoxes.
1.21 gigawatt.
Darius is actually a likable character. I made fun of her at the beginning because she's so... at the beginning, like, good night. Like, give her a ray of sunshine for Pete's sake.
She's always, like, so bitter about everything, so cynical. I mean, pretty much the typical Aubrey Plaza role that you expect from her in Parks and Rec. Funny people, the to-do list, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
If you're familiar with her work, she's kind of been typecasted as this very, whatever the gender bent version of Johnny Raincloud is. It's just like...
Actually, you know what it is? She's Daria from the TV show Daria. I mean, think about it. Darius, Daria, Derek Connolly wrote the script with Aubrey Plaza in mind. What if he was just like thinking to himself, Daria, okay. Darius, I wonder who could play this. Aubrey Plaza, she reminds me of Daria. I wouldn't be surprised if that was it.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, at the beginning, she's very depressing. But thankfully, later on, she lightens up and opens up to Kenneth. And that's what makes her, a character we can root for. It's like, because we want to know what Kenneth's up to as well. Mm-hmm. And she's very curious, so that just makes the audience very invested.
Yeah, and we're curious too. And Mark Duplass as Kenneth is probably his best work I've ever seen. I know him mostly for his filmmaking. He and his brother Jay, they write and direct mumblecore films like Bad Cat and The Puffy Chair, Jeffrey Lives at Home, and he's also known for acting in films like Lazarus Effect and Creep. Was this your introduction to him?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It was actually my introduction to him when I saw this movie for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and there are some cameos.
Yeah, we have Jeff Garlin, Kristen Bell, and that one woman whose name I always forget, but she was in Punch Drunk Love, Road Trip, Little Miss Sunshine. Okay, I'm going to look her name up right now. It's going to kill me. Mary Lynn Rushkoop. I hope I'm saying that name right. Whatever.
Was she the boss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bridget.
Yeah. Jeff Garlin was... I knew him from the voices of Wall-E. He was the captain. And in Toy Story 3, he was the unicorn.
Wait, was he?
He's got to be the unicorn. They wouldn't do Seth Rogen.
I remember you're like a. We saw him show up on camera, and you're just, oh, he is the voice. Okay. He's also known for a Curb Your Enthusiasm TV show. But you probably already knew that.
Yeah, but he was. That was kind of fun to see. It's like, oh hey, cameo. Yeah. And that's the only time you see him.
Yeah. It's like, thanks, Jeff. Your check's in the mail.
Yeah. No, but this movie does have a lot of mystery to it. Because you do wonder if Kenneth is being crazy or if he's actually telling the truth. I mean, that, of course, that's the main mystery. But the other characters, it's like we're wondering if he's actually being followed. Because he's extremely paranoid about people following him.
He seems very intense about everything. Like he's always talking about his calibrations, his motivation, and everything like that. Like he's always saying stuff to Darius like, "Dude, the heat is on. We gotta move quick. Dude, my calibrations are flipping pinpoint."
Yeah.
Have you ever stared death straight in the eye? You ever face certain death? I love her.
So intense.
I love her reaction to it. If it was so certain, I wouldn't be here, would I? She's trying to sound just as intense as he is. That's what
it completely takes him off guard.
That is one of the best meet cutes I've ever seen in my life.
It's so funny. Because we think that she's just going to fumble with her words. And no, she's actually right on point.
Yeah.
And that's what makes her great. I think all of the characters, for the most part, we can, get behind. Or at least we can follow, especially Kenneth and Darius. Those are the most likable characters, obviously.
Yeah.
There's this one scene that does crack me up.
What is it?
It's when Kenneth goes on the heist to get some equipment. There's like some sort of birthday party going on in the office. They just follow him out.
I love that. They notice that there was this strange man dressed all in black, wearing the ski cap. He's just walking out with all this equipment. They're looking at him. He's trying to keep cool. He's pushing the thing through the hallway. They come out. They follow him. I love that.
It's the most hilarious thing ever. I was laughing pretty hard watching it. And I think. I don't think anything stood out from the soundtrack or from editing. I think the editing was on point. Cinematography, I always think that they're shooting in Oregon instead of Seattle just because, one, Portland is cheaper, and two, it's right next door to Washington. So that's just my guess. I'd probably just have to look it up where they actually shot the movie, but I will bet you bottom dollar that it was shot in Portland.
Well, look it up.
Yeah, so I'll look it up. I'm going to give this movie a high five. I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, me too.
And that's all we got.
But that's pretty much it.
Pretty simple as that. Colin Trevorrow's directorial debut, and we'll see how episode 9 of Star Wars turns out in a couple years.
Yeah.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner.
And we will see you at the movies.